next on News Channel 15 at 11.
You're looking live at the snow falling in Murrells Inlet. Chief Meteorologist Piotrowski will tell us when it might let up and just how much we could end up with.
And we'll take a look at the road conditions in this snowstorm.
And the Myrtle Beach Marathon and Half Marathon have been canceled due to the snow. We'll have a live report with all the details coming up.
Good evening, I'm Tim McGinnis.
And I'm Allyson Floyd. Well, we have a live shot right now of snow that's accumulating at Broadway at the beach.
First alert, Chief Meteorologist Ed Piotrowski has been tracking this storm all night, and he has the latest right now. Ed?
All right, thanks very much, Tim. We start with a look at live Doppler 15,000, and it still continues to snow everywhere in our viewing area right now. Some locations it's light, other areas we have moderate snowfall, and we will add to the accumulations we've already got on the ground for the next 3 or 4 hours. As we spread this picture out, you'll see the back edge of the precipitation is still in the upstate of South Carolina, just now crossing the Savannah River. So this is still yet to come through the area. Another 3 or 4 hours worth of snow to come through, and that means more snow on top of what we've already gotten. Take a look at some of the snowfall totals we've gotten in. So far, the highest reports have been across parts of the PD where the temperatures have been at or below freezing, so the snow's been able to pile up here a little bit more. Dovesville, 6 inches. Darlington 5, Florence, Marion, and Hartsville at 3. Train Weather Spotter in Aner at 2.5 inches. Surfside has had 2 inches as well, mainly on the grassy surfaces. Conway, I've actually measured the 2 inches right out here in our backyard. I was actually trained to do that in college. Pawleys Island, we've got 2 inches as well. Same for Murrells Inlet. About 1.5 inches in Myrtle Beach, 2 in Georgetown. North Myrtle Beach and Little River about 1 inch. And it's still coming down, but it's been more compact down along the Grand Strand. So how much snow will we get total? Anywhere from 3 to 6 inches for many areas across the PD. Already a few isolated spots will go above that as we head through the next couple of hours. Likely 2 to 4 along the immediate coast before it ends later on tonight. Here is the timeline for the rest of the night. Between now and 3 a.m., widespread snow. After 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning across the PD, it starts to wind down. About 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning along the Grand Strand, it winds down. And between 3 and 7, it's basically cloudy and cold, but no snow falling out of the sky. And beyond 7 o'clock, we'll gradually see the sun reappear, especially by lunchtime. And yes, the snow will begin to melt, but anything still left on the roadways tomorrow night will refreeze as we fall into the 20s. I'll have more on that and some of your wonderful pictures coming up later.
All right, Ed, thanks so much.
Tonight we have live team coverage of the winter storm.
First alert meteorologist Kristen Van Dyke's been out in it tonight. And Kristen, how's it looking out there right now?
Well, I'm on the corner of 21st Avenue and Grissom Parkway, and the snow is still coming down steadily here. Of course, it is on and off. We are seeing some of those heavier bands move in and out, but again, we are seeing that steady snow. We will continue to see that for the next couple of hours. I was in Conway earlier this evening, and considering the weather activity, there were a fair amount of people on the roads. Highway Patrol does ask that you don't get out if you don't have to, and especially you need to be careful on those bridges and overpasses, which can freeze over and ice over much more quickly than the roads. Of course, right now, the roads are fairly clear out here. Most of the snow is just accumulating on the ground. Just seeing the wet roads out there, still definitely want to be careful. And also DOT does want to let you know that they do have up-to-the-minute road conditions for the winter weather, and you can get a link to that on your website, carolinalive.com. Tim, Allison.
All right, thanks a lot, Chris. And there have been a lot of wrecks out on the roads tonight.
Yeah, let's take a look at the roads right now from our DOT traffic cameras. The incident reports right now through the South Carolina Highway Patrol is that there are 26 incidents going on right now. All of those at this time are collisions, but we've seen a lot of stranded motorists listed throughout the night as well. This is I-95 at US 52, which is exit 164. This is in Florence County. But you can find a link to that real-time traffic information from the South Carolina Highway Patrol as far as collisions and stranded motorists and what's going on your website. There's a link, carolinalive.com.
There have also been spotty power outages reported tonight in Georgetown County.
And Georgetown County Emergency Management Director Sam Hodge is joining us now by phone. Thank you so much for joining us, Sam. And about how many people are out of power right now?
It's just a small area of Georgetown, mainly in the Front Street area along the East Bay Park, that's having or experiencing some power outages, mainly due to some transformer issues that the city is having.
Any idea when that power might be back on for those folks?
They've dispatched crews out there currently, so probably within hopefully within the next couple of hours they should have all the power back on.
And Sam, how are the roads out there tonight?
The road conditions in Georgetown are kind of spotty. Depends on what part of the county you're located in. Our dispatch center has reported for the past hour we've had roughly about 20 motor vehicle accidents. Some of those are just vehicles sliding off into the road, to the ditches off the roadway. But the bridges seem to be in pretty good shape, and mainly it's the secondary roads that are giving us the biggest problems.
And I know you had told me earlier you were heading over to your office. Have you opened the Emergency Operations Center at all there?
The Georgetown Emergency Operations Center is partially activated with emergency management staff, and we'll be here all night monitoring the situation and supporting our agencies that need assistance.
All right, Sam Hodge, thank you so much. And we're going to actually check back in with Sam. Coming up tomorrow morning, we have a special edition of Good Morning Carolinas. That will be from 6 a.m. until 8 a.m. So we'll check in on the conditions in Georgetown from Sam tomorrow morning. Well, because of the weather, the Bilo Myrtle Beach Marathon and Half Marathon tomorrow have been canceled.
News Channel 15's Mola Lenghi joins us live in Myrtle Beach with more on that. Mola?
Well, that's right, Tim. Allyson, Myrtle Beach Marathon and Half Marathon both canceled as a result of the snow, the conditions. The city of Myrtle Beach made the final call. The decision, they say they did not make lightly. Ultimately, it was safety that was the driving force behind their decision. The safety of the many runners that were going to be participating, the safety of the hundreds of volunteers, the safety of all the city employees that it takes to put an event like this on. So safety was the primary concern for canceling the event. As far as rescheduling the runs goes, officials tell me it's not going to happen. The way that it was described to me is that there are just far too many moving parts to put on such a huge event like this. And you've got logistical planning, you've got all the scheduling, you've got volunteers. You can't just really weekend. Not an easy event to put on. Also, refunds. I know a lot of people are probably going to have questions if they're going to be refunded. They paid their hard-earned money to be a part of the event. Again, regrettably, officials tell me that full refunds are also not likely. They hope to be able to pass along some sort of special promotion, maybe a discount for a future run. But the way that it was described was that putting on this event, a lot of the costs are upfront costs. Renting out an expo center, the trophies, the t-shirts, the bibs, all that stuff upfront cost. So it's not like they have a reserve fund just waiting to be able to refund people. So full refunds probably not likely, though they say it's still premature to say whether what exactly might be offered to the many participants. The vibe that I got from talking to officials was this was not an easy decision to make. They realize that many of the participants, probably all the participants, are going to be let down by this decision, but the organizers themselves say they're just as let down as anyone else. Live in Myrtle Beach tonight from what would have been the start and finish line here at Grissom and 21st Avenue. Allyson, Tim, back to you.
All right, Mola, thank you very much.
The snow moved into our area around 4:30 this afternoon.
Take a look. This is what it looked like in Florence when the snow started accumulating as nights started to fall. It only took about an hour to start building up. You can see it covered our news card there. Of course, the kids have had a blast outside playing in it. There are a lot of happy children tonight, children of all ages, in fact, in the Eastern Carolinas tonight.
The South Carolina Emergency Operations Center has been partially activated.
State emergency management workers are ready to help local first responders with this snowstorm. Troopers, the Department of Natural Resources, SLED, and National Guard are all monitoring the storm. On the Grand Strand, officials were busy today. They moved some people and equipment around to help prepare for the snow. At
Myrtle Beach International, 7 snow-moving trucks and a sweeper were prepared for the action. The airport also has chemicals to spread on the runways. The airport rarely uses its snow removal plan, but it does have one.
We do have an FAA-approved snow and ice plan, which at said time we will activate, and we will be ready to go. You know, we're monitoring the weather, and we certainly don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but we want to be ready.
The city of Myrtle Beach has motor graders, front end loaders, and dump trucks filled with sand positioned around the city, and crews are standing by. And as the snow made its way toward us today, the organized frenzy set in.
At the Kroger in Carolina Forest this afternoon, lines were long and anticipation was growing. Cashiers say this store was slammed all day long as people picked up last-minute groceries. And she said everyone was shocked that it's going to snow at the beach.
Well, they saying it's going to snow. We left the north to come down here. We come down here, and now we got it down here.
Also at Hamp's Hardware in Conway, the few snow shovels they did have were gone by mid-afternoon. Owners also say that propane has been selling at record rates. And we want to see your snow pictures.
Be a part of Team 15 and upload your pictures and video on CarolinaLive.com. Just click on the Team 15 tab. We might use some of your pictures on the air. And News Channel 15 is sponsoring a winter weather photo contest. We have details on that coming up after weather. And here's what you can expect in coverage from your First Alert team.
Coming up at midnight, we will start with our cut-ins once again at the top and bottom of every hour. That will be through 5:30 in the morning. We're going to have a special edition of Good Morning Carolinas that will air from 6 until 8 tomorrow morning, and we'll stay with you throughout the day tomorrow as needed. Be sure to join us for a wrap-up of the winter weather tomorrow night on News Channel 15 Saturday at 6 o'clock. And of course, Ed will be back with your First Alert forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Myrtle Beach police said today they completed their investigation into the traffic collision that supposedly involved former NBA player Jason Williams. Police say they determined Jason Williams was not driving the car that rear-ended another car on Ocean Boulevard. Myrtle Beach police say former NBA player Charles Shackelford used Williams' name and was driving the car at the time of the incident. Warrants have been issued for the arrest of Shackelford for driving under suspension and hindering arrest by providing false information.
Florence Darlington Technical College is getting a $4.3 million grant. The U.S. Department of Labor grant will be used to train workers for the electric power industry. Labor Department hopes it puts people back to work. In all, the Labor Department's handing out more than $225 million in health care and training grants to schools and organizations around the nation. It's a part of the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act.
South Carolina's First Lady is back in the Palmetto State after appearing on several national talk shows. Today I sat down with her at the Lace House on the grounds of the governor's mansion. She's been promoting her book, Staying True, which details her marriage to Governor Mark Sanford and his affair with a woman from Argentina. Recently, she filed for divorce. I asked her if there's any chance the two could reconcile.
I came to the conclusion prayerfully and carefully that that he needs to get himself recentered around the set of principles and values that we used to share and that I know that he believes in but has lost sight of.
You can watch the entire interview with Mrs. Sanford this Sunday morning on Carolina This Week. It starts at 9 right here on News Channel 15.
This is News Channel 15 at 11 with Allyson, Floyd, Tim McGinnis, First Alert Chief Meteorologist Ed Piotrowski, and Sports Director Rich Prantanis. Coming up next.
The Olympics are off to a tragic start in Vancouver. Up next, details about the death of an athlete today.
Plus, former President Bill Clinton could be back to work on Monday after just having surgery yesterday.
And as the snow falls, Ed rejoins us in a few minutes with your First Alert forecast for tonight and what we can expect overnight. News Channel 15 at 11. We'll be right back.